Speak Easy podcast listeners. It is your host, Al to be spells, your voice manager. I unmute the voice of women who are ready to speak up about what has kept her silent for way too long. This is yet another episode of the Speak Easy podcast for this series, Life After COVID. You guys, I brought in some of the big guns when it comes to let's talk about how we going to manage and not just, not just survive, but how are we going to thrive after everything that we've been through in this last 12 months. I am super excited about my guest today. Hello, Denise. How are you?
Oh, Alto Bees. Hello, hello. We kicking off the week with your show, and I'm so excited. So thank you for having me on and looking forward to what we share here today with your listeners.
I'm excited about it as well. Man, this has been a crazy topsy-turvy type of year. But, there are some things that we're going to talk about today when it comes to media that's really going to set some people straight. So I know it's definitely needed and necessary. And I know the Speak Easy podcast listeners are going to be ready with their notes and their note cards to write some things down. So before we jump into today's topic, tell the studio audience a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, thank you. My name again is author Denise Turney, and I'm a freelance writer, and I work for clients around the globe. One of my clients right now is Herbal Goodness, and I give them a shout out because they were founded by Dr. Unoma Okafor, and she's out of Nigeria. She's now based in Texas, but we have a team in Africa, Colombia, different parts of the world, and she does herbs, so plant-based supplements, plant-based teas. And she has really taken that business off. So I tip my hat to her. So, and I freelance write for colleges and universities, major corporations. So that's one aspect. And I really entered into that space when I got laid off during the Great Recession, talking about a topsy turvy year and being able to balance change and with the media or what we're going to do going forward. And then my passion, that's my passion as well. But how I got started with writing was novel writing. And I started when I was 12 years old. I started writing when I was 10. But I've written like several books, and I'll just tell you some. My first was Portia, which is an inspirational story about a woman dealing with breast cancer. She's in Chicago, a successful defense attorney. That one did very well. Media, I learned how to hustle. I studied the industry and I got out there. And then Portia really took off. But then Long Walk Up, this is my top seller right now. And it's a book about a little girl, 6 years old, Mulligan. She's orphaned when her mother passes away. There's a drought in the community where they live in Africa, and she goes on to become Africa's first woman president. So it's a very inspiring story. And I put this out, I want to say maybe 6 years ago, but then we're making history now in the United States as well. And then another book of mine, Love Pour Over Me. This is a romantic mystery. There's a murder mystery hidden in here, but these two people belong together. Raymond, I don't want to take up too much time describing the books. Raymond, his father has untreated alcoholism. His mother left him when he was 2. His father stays and raises him. So he's his heart. He's really scared to love. But Brenda and he belong together. They meet in college, and again, there's a murder mystery. There's these 5 friends who are friends for life. This is a page turner. And then this is my latest nonfiction. It's a book about shortcuts to really to. We have to take care of ourselves, and I tell people this all the time. I've gone through some challenges in my life, and some that I thought would take me out. But if you don't practice daily self-love, when that thing that you don't see coming comes, it could knock you out. I mean, flatten you. So every day, and so I offer techniques and tips for things you can do to practice daily self-love, dealing with grief, preparing for the life change of retirement. These are some tips in here in Awakening Blessings of Inner Love. So thank you. And I'm online at chistel.com, CHISTELL.com. Please visit me online.
So you said something that really stood out because I think, we talk about in any industry is that there's this hustle and grind that we really need to do. Uh, you know, that in order for us to get new clients, in order for us to sell our products and services, in order for us to get in front of the people that are going to pay us to speak on their stages. And the hustle and grind looks different now. So, what is one of the big changes that you see in the media where the hustle and grind is different now that we're after, this whole pandemic and this whole um, different lifestyle change that we had to go through?
I think it's going to be a while even before this all really we all process it, because there may be people. This is slightly a little bit more of an individual person social work aspect. People who might have to deal with PTSDs after this over. They might be putting off dealing with grief if a loved one passed. Uh, Everybody's going through it now, but when it's over and it's just you, the only one who lost your mom, or a few other people, and everybody else gone back to their normal life, that's when that might hit. So again, take care of yourself. Whether you had somebody challenged with COVID, I know some people who have been, or somebody who passed. I know one person who did. Take care of yourself, because once everybody gets back to normal and you still dealing with your change that's permanent, you just want to keep taking care of yourself. So one thing I'll say that I see, and we saw this report in like the Facebook ads. They dropped in March. The CPCs dropped in March, but they picked up significantly in April. So this is what I want to say. A lot of people are doing live interviews, whether it's Facebook, whether they're doing a Twitter live chats. They're finding ways to engage with people, and I think those who are smart and who are doing that will come out ahead. This is again when COVID first hit in March, and everybody's like, "Oh, what's going on?" I, I had planned to go to this event and that event that had tens of thousands of people that I could have interacted with face to face, and now that's gone. I can't do that. Well, the people who slowed down, like with the online ads, when April, when it kicked in, I know just for books, it really kicked in, and a lot of people saw their sales went up. Those who just sat back and did nothing, then by the time you move, you might be behind the eight ball. So if you're doing those live videos, if you're doing the Vimeo, you're still doing your YouTubes, you're still getting out and blogging, you're still interviewing, like with Speakeasy and Altavis, where she's so gracious to offer. You're going out on, there's a radio directory that you can just be constantly every week doing 2 to 3 interviews. Because here's the thing. So if you have I always tell people, get your own email distribution list. Don't just rely on social media. A good way to do that: start a newsletter. That is a very good way, and be consistent. Start a newsletter, or if you do a podcast, connect it to a newsletter, and you can just push out, here are my upcoming guests, and this is what you can gain from those guests, etc. Because if social media went away, how would you keep in touch with your clients, your customers, your prospects? You want your own contact list. So if you don't have one, start building one. There's the constant contact. There's MailChimp. Those are those who could make it easy and save you time. You can just put it on your website. Tell them that they can sign up, and the people in the background, the constant contact, MailChimp, they'll take care of the rest of that for you. I cannot stress that enough. Have your very own email distribution list. Just being on social media with 1 million followers is not enough. I think you need your own list, and then work that. Be and consistency. Do it now. Don't wait for COVID to be over. And so you want to stay consistently in touch with your current existing clients and prospects, because we know it takes more work, more money, more time to go out and get a new customer than to retain an existing customer. You might offer some long-term customers a coupon, a special discount, just for somebody who's been with you for a year, 5 years, 10 years, to encourage that stay. So you want to stay in front of your regular customers. There are several ways, again: radio, television, uh, blogging, newsletters, getting your own podcast, starting your own video channel. And here's a tip I'll give you. If you start your own video channel, you start recording your shows. Like if you do YouTube or video, record them 2 months out. That way you don't feel jammed up and pressured to keep recording new ones every day. So the same thing with a blog. You can start writing your blogs, get your blog articles 3 months ahead, and then just push them out, push them out, push them out. So that's how you keep in touch with your existing customers and clients one way, and then social media. But then you also want to continue to reach new customers and new clients. That's when you get on shows, not just your own, but you get on radio shows and podcasts and television that you've never been on before. And you just get out in front of new people. And another thing I want to encourage you, press releases I don't see them having as much traction as they had years ago. And this has nothing to do with COVID, but you have to find a way to keep in touch with new media outlets. Now, here's a place that I go to, and if you're an expert in a certain area, you might get a little bit more leverage out of this. But it's called Help a Reporter Out, and the acronym is HARO. You can sign up for that. You get an email. You can say you want a daily email or weekly. I get one daily. And I have made contacts with the media through there. So they might say, we're looking for somebody who's an expert on journaling, meditation, um, something which has to do with exercise, relationships. Respond, respond. Don't talk yourself out of responding. This is something I learned years ago. When you see an opportunity or you have an idea that pops up in your mind to contact, I'm gonna say Oprah, contact TV One, contact BET, contact whatever show, Black Women Rock, the founder there. Don't say, oh, they wouldn't want to talk to me. I don't have enough sales. I don't have, like, my bottom line's not a 10 million or up. That's their decision to decide if they want to take you on. You go for it. Because I'm telling you, you'd be surprised how many people will take you on. The editor, Susan Taylor, when she started with Essence, she had a friend or somebody came up to her and said, they're looking for an editor and you'll be perfect. You should go for it. She said, I have no editing experience. I'm not fit for that job. I can't. But her friend kept pushing her. She did it. Susan Taylor is like the actual brand you think of when you think of Essence, and she didn't think she was qualified. So go for it. And then you let the other person tell you, well, do you have this experience or that? Or do you let them do that? You go for it. So that's my advice.
Oh my goodness, you dropped some gems in that moment, because there have been so many things that even Speakeasy podcast listeners, we've gone and connected with Mint Wave Radio. We've connected with Desire to Inspire Community and Entertainment. And you can hear the podcast on their platforms now. And even to the point of being able to connect with the Women Who Win app. Being able to go and set yourself up, this was the perfect time for that, because something that I've said before was that this everybody had a level playing field. you
Mm-hmm.
know Everybody was using Zoom, everybody had to cancel their events, everybody had to figure it out. And so it
Mm-hmm.
it was hard, but choose your hard. It's going to be hard, going and reaching out to people. It's going to be hard going and shutting things down. Choose which hard that you're going to deal with. And so I absolutely love that, Denise. That was right on point. Because when we think about where it is we're going and being able to keep that momentum,
Mm-hmm.
it's harder to stop and start
Oh,
than it is just to keep going.
mm-hmm. You said that. And you know what? I think the people who are really pushing now, when it opens up, they could be so far out ahead. I'm telling you, if you sit back and I can't say it enough. They gonna not be taxiing down the runway. They're gonna be in the air. So when this lifts, I would, yes, absolutely.
That's
Mm-hmm.
right, putting yourself in position. So that, with that being said, too, what yeah, I love that you gave the tip on Harrow, help a reporter out. That's something that I've been sharing with my clients for years, and it's definitely a great opportunity. It opens it up. So for somebody who's saying, life after COVID, I want to start getting into connections with, the media. What should be my in? Some people are like, should I go with a product and service? Some people should I go with a story? What should be my way in when it comes to connecting with the media?
Now you know that I've heard. this is what I've heard, and I've heard from some people in the media. The story is really effective. Going in saying this is my product and focusing on the features, they say that is not so effective anymore. How can what your service or your product help me to have the experiences I want to have? So it has to all be about the customer. How so if you're selling something like an app, this if you use this app, it will save you 2 hours a day. 2 hours a day. That's where you start. And then when you get them to where, okay, I want to set up a meeting or so and so to discuss with you, to share this with our listeners. We think our listeners and our viewers will really, really appreciate this, and our ratings will go up. So because it's about their ratings, then that's when you start talking about your features. But first, you want to tell them this is how this can help your life. So when you know your audience, a busy executive, saving them 2 hours a day. Oh my God, they're there. It's like, okay, you can do that for me. I want to hear it. That's when you start to pull the media and tell them how. Even with my books, even with novels, I would go out to the media. This is the benefit to your listeners if you let me introduce them to my book. This is what they can gain. Then you get on and you can start talking more about your products. But first, keep the viewer, the listener in mind, not the TV executive, the person watching the show, the person listening to the radio show. How is what you're going to share benefit them? Share that with your TV or radio contact. Also, like if it comes radio television, know who it is you want to connect with. On radio, who's the DJ? Who's the DJ? Who's the show? The DJ that their show fits what you're offering. Who on that television station, their show, what they discuss, fits what you're offering. So that's another thing, and they can tell you've been listening to the show, and you're not just reaching out to a ton of people, and you never even watched the show.
Ooh, you hit on some moments there, because doing that research, that little bit of research can go a long way. I love when I have people that come and they reach out and they're like, I listened to this episode and I really think that what I have to offer can, benefit your audience. Or, oh my goodness, I check you out online and I love what I see on your profile and what it is that you're doing. And I would love to be able to, either have you as a guest, or I would love to be able to, do something with you. That is so important right now, because you never know. One of the things that's so um, that people forget is that people are still watching you. Like, even
Yes.
if you quit, if you keep moving, people are still watching you. They are watching what you do as well as what you
Mm-hmm.
don't do.
Mm-hmm.
And you never know, because we're only like 3 degrees of separation with social media now. You never know when the person that you really wanted to connect with is already connected to you.
Ah, and you don't know it.
And you don't
That's a
know
good
it.
point. Oh my goodness, yes.
And you don't know it. I cannot tell you how many people have come up to me and said, oh my goodness, I see your lives all the time. And I'm like, but you've never been in my live stream, or you, yeah, okay. And they can tell me verbatim things that I do, things that I say. And I'm like,
Mhm.
oh,
Yes.
okay. And you'll never know it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely awesome. I love it. I love it. Speakeasy Podcast listeners, I hope you took notes, because Denise dropped some bombs this particular episode. She gave you some things that can really set you on a positive path as we think about what life is going to be after COVID. And man, for business, networking is still number one, y'all. And word of
Yes.
mouth is still top when it comes to marketing. It has not stopped. And even through everything we've been through in the last 12 months, guys, it literally is the reason why some people have not had to close their doors. So, with that being said, I absolutely love, 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 love this episode. We can actually keep going. But Denise, I want you to let the Speakeasy audience know where they can find you. And they can reach out to you for more information.
please visit me online at my website, and you can contact me through the contact form there, Chistel, CHISTELL.com. Again, that's CHISTELL.com. And I just want to share one other tip with you as we're in December 21st and we've got, what, 9, 10 more days in the year. I encourage you to start planning out for 2021. Plan out your marketing, plan out what your goals are, and every day, every week, how are you going to start meeting those goals? Don't tell yourself it's too big, it's too much. You got time to adjust, but start right now. Start. Don't wait till January 1st. Start planning. Review your 2020. See where you need to make changes, and start planning out 2021 for sales, for your marketing, your promotions, and how you're gonna meet your goals. So that I definitely want to leave that tip with you.
I love it. I love it. Speakeasy listeners, oh, I appreciate you because without the Speakeasy podcast listeners, there would be no Speakeasy podcast. So make sure that you're joining the conversation. bit.ly/World Voice Community. You can join the free Facebook group where you can go and tell us what you thought about this particular episode or another one. Or you can always go and leave us a review on your favorite podcasting platform. With that being said, we want to make sure that we shout out our sponsor. Yes, Good Living Now. Good Living Now provides black seed oil capsules that you can purchase. Listen, it is time for us to have a better, healthier life.
Mm.
And in order for us to do that, it's taking the right steps forward. So bit.ly/a greater life in order for you to go and find out not only the benefits of black seed oil, but how black seed oil was able to help Harold LaFlaw to be able to beat out cancer. So I want you to go ahead, check out that story, make sure you read it, get the information, bit.ly/. A greater life. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And until next time, don't forget to press it out. See ya.